what exactly happens if you don't file annual returns. So if you are a registered business in Nigeria and you're operating in Nigeria and you have registered at the Corporate Affairs Commission, then this video is for you. So let's just get right to it. But before I get into the meat of this discussion, I'd like to make a very quick clarification, and that clarification is the difference between annual returns and tax returns. So I notice that a lot of people normally use these words interchangeably and don't really understand the distinction. Sometimes I find people saying, oh, I filed my tax returns, and I tell them, no, if you filed your tax returns, you still haven't filed your annual returns. Now this is the clear distinction. Now for annual returns is filed at the Corporate Affairs Commission. That is where you registered your business. So it is filed there. Now, the whole essence of the annual returns is to let the Corporate Affairs Commission know that the company is still operating in Nigeria and is still doing business in Nigeria. So you file, just like a brief summary of, the company's activities, not anything to elaborate, right? The current directors and shareholders, and for each year, and let them know that, what, even if this company is still doing business and is still functioning. Now if you don't do that, it is presumed that the company is no longer functioning, or it is no longer in use, and then CAC will have no other choice but to strike tax returns is filed at the FIRS, that's the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Now for companies that are limited liability companies, the tax returns is filed with the federal government. Now for business name, that's for sole proprietorship, small companies, it is filed with the IRS, that's Internal Revenue Service of the state where the business or business is operating or doing business. So you file it at the IRS, and that is where you actually file your tax, your company income tax and your personal income tax. This distinction out of the way, let's just go back to the main video, which is what happens if you don't file annual returns. Now the first thing that happens if you don't file annual returns at the Corporate Affairs Commission is that you will begin to accumulate penalties. And once that penalty starts accumulating, it increases so bad that sometimes for 10 years, 15, 20 years, a lot of people have not even filed their annual returns, and then they have to pay huge amounts. You will not just be paying to the CAC, you will also be paying to that accredited agent, and it is going to cost you a lot. So it is rather better for you to file it timelessly, so you don't have to go through the hassle of trying to raise funds. Some people even go to the extent of saying that they don't want to have anything to do with the business again, or they can't even afford to pay the annual returns, and then they just abandon the company. The second thing that happens is you face the possibility of your company getting struck out. So the Corporate Affairs Commission has like a register of businesses and companies where they keep all the names and information of, or a database where they keep the name and the information of every company that is registered in Nigeria. Yeah, because the Registrar General is called the Chief Registrar. Right now, that register has, is compiled, or is contains all the registered businesses in Nigeria. So the whole essence of filing annual returns is you're trying to let the Corporate Affairs Commission know that you are still doing business in Nigeria and you are still operating in Nigeria. So when you don't file the annual returns, it is presumed that you no longer file your annual returns. It is presumed that your company is no longer doing business. Now let me say this, it doesn't matter whether or not after you register the company you have not been doing business, or you kind of stopped doing business, or you have not even commenced business, or you started doing business and then you stopped. Like I said when I started this video as to the distinction, it's not like tax returns, okay? So it is not the same. They are not taxing you for the profit that you made, right? They are just you are just giving them information as to the business that you are doing with the company. So it is presumed that you're no longer doing business, and after a period of time, after some time, they will then now strike off the company. You will face the difficulty of getting loans or investors. Now, if you are a business that is thriving in Nigeria, definitely you would come to that particular stage or that moment in your business venture that you will need to get loans or you will need investors, to step in so that the business can grow. Now, assuming you want to get investors, the first thing they will do commonsensically, and let's just even say that, okay, I was even representing the investors, the first thing that I will do as their legal representative is to do a background check. And one of the ways they do a background check for a company is definitely to check, the Corporate Affairs Commission. Is that business registered? Was it registered the year that they claim that it was registered? Even if it was registered, is it active? Is it inactive? Is the company still operating? Have they filed their annual returns up to date, right? Those are the things that I would look out for. And when a company checks and they see that your company is inactive, it's kind of sends the wrong message. It's already, a disadvantage to your company. Or even if I was representing the investors, I'll tell them, you know what, these people are not really serious people. I don't think it is wise to do business with them. So I believe that every thinking, right thinking investor, even banks also check this if they want to give you a loan. So it is very important, that you file your annual returns. If you do that, you stand the risk of losing good business investors.
If you don't pay annual returns is that you cannot make changes to your company. You cannot change directors, you cannot change shareholders, you cannot add, you cannot subtract. You can't really do anything on that company unless you file your annual returns. Like in the past, before, like sometime around 2020, around that period, when they just did the new karma, that's the Company and Allied Matters Act of 2020, that period they were still allowing companies to still file or change directors or change shareholders without having to file annual returns. But that has completely changed. Now you can't make any changes to that company unless you file your annual return. So if you haven't already filed annual returns by now, just know that whatever was in that company before, it will remain like that until you file your annual returns.
That people overlook a lot is that you will not get a visa. Yes, if you're trying to apply for a visa and you use your business as a source of income, and then you upload or you attach documents that shows that yes, you are operating in Nigeria. If you don't know this now, that actually those embassies, they actually check CAC, and once they see the inactive, their mind or their brain does not tell them that inactive doesn't mean they are not doing business. It just means that probably they've not filed. They won't even know that, and they don't want to know. Once they see inactive, they just feel like inactive means this company is not doing business. So it will not tally with the claim that you are making, and definitely that will be a disqualifying factor. If you didn't, submit, like let's say your personal bank statements, and you put only your company bank statements, and you're relying on that company bank statement as your proof of funds, definitely just know that it's going to be a red flag. How do you fix this issue? The first thing you need to do is, first of all, check your status on the CAC portal. Like I said, I've done a video before on how you can check whether your company is active or inactive on the CAC portal. So what you need to do is just type the name of your company or the RC number or the business name number or the IT number. Check it to see, okay, is your company active? Is it inactive? Once you check that and you have clarified that it is inactive, the second step will be for you to pay the outstanding penalties, and you need to pay the fees as well. So usually they will ask you for a statement of affairs. That statement of affairs is basically, what you did each year for the company. So it can be separate. It's basically what you did for each year. Now for business name, they don't request for statement of affairs, but for limited liability companies and for incorporated trustees, that's churches, charity organizations, and the associations and clubs, definitely they will ask you for a statement of affairs. So you need to have a statement of affairs ready. Maybe an auditor and accountant can get that prepared and ready for you for each year, so you'll be able to submit that returns immediately to avoid further penalties. Let filing annual returns prevent you from getting your visa or preventing you from losing good business, or rather have to spend extra money that you haven't really budgeted for. Now let me know in the comment section if you have any questions in regards to annual returns or the distinctions between annual returns and tax returns, and I'll get back. Don't forget to subscribe and put on your notification bell so each time I post a video you get notified. I see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.